Hello everyone, it's over here, and this is the long-awaited PowerPoint of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know it took a while, but I finally got it done. So there's 5 seasons, and this is the 2012 version. So there's 5 seasons of the series. It takes place in New York. So also they might just mention if they don't have any important plot points, but they might have a character that's important later. Or I might just do a slight on the character. I always suggest watch this series before watching the rest of this video. You can find this series on Pluto TV or on DVD. Just so you all know, Pluto TV has ads, but it's a free streaming app for the show. Each character is different, each turtle has a specific skill set and weapon. All characters have skills that I will go over, and I'll do the heroes and then the villains. So, the first few seasons, the region seems to turn them into the last thing they touched. Like, for Splinter is a rat and Chris Bradford became a dog. For example, if they were an animal, they mutate into a version of that animal like turtles, or if the DNA is added to the region, they turn into the animal of DNA. Okay, last chance to leave off for major spoilers. But into the video. Okay, first we have the heroes. The turtles Leonardo. Leonardo is the leader of the group. He wears blue mask and is weapon of swords. Raph, also known as Raphael. The angry one, and his mask is red, and his weapon is the size. Zatillo. The science one, and his mask is purple, and his weapon is a stick. Also known as Bowstaff. Right here, Michelangelo. The Thor is his mask is orange, and his weapon is nunchucks. Splinter, aka Sensei, aka Hamato Yoshi. He is the adopted father and teacher and believes his daughter is dead. He's still in Japan and is the leader of the Hamato clan. Humans. April O'Neil. Who's right there, by the way. A human girl immune to mutation. Since the experimental apparently. We don't find this out till like mid-season 2. Her DNA is the key to making retro mutant, and also that's supposed to say perfecting the mutant for the Krang. She lives with her father, and the Krang are always after her for some reason, and later becomes a ninja. And occasionally they just put it as April's friend. And Katie's back there, by the way. Some mutants, but that help our turtles. Spike, aka Flash. Breast pit turtle that was mutated. Into Rockwell, a monkey with mind powers. Pigeon Pete, a mutated pigeon by the Krang. Motorgecko, a mutated gecko. Leatherhead, a mutated alligator that hates Krang. Then some others that we meet. Renette, a time master train that comes from a place where the turtles are famous legends. Shigami, Croydal friend from Japan. I'm going to call Shigami mostly shitty for whatever episode she's in. It's a lot easier to just have that instead of typing the whole name. And then for Market Krang, Bishop is leader, and they created the bodies of the other Krang so they can use for themselves. Now here's the villains. You can see a background of villains in the background here. I'll say which they are as soon as, from what I can tell, as soon as I tell you who the villains are. And if they're on the background, I'll point to them with my mouse. So we have the Shredder, aka Oroku Saki. Splinter's main rival, Ray's as Splinter's brother, leader of the Foot Clan, and Croy's adopted father, later becomes the Super Shredder. cry. Attacked by Shredder, Splinter's biological daughter, later joins the Turtles' side, reveals the Foot Clan later in later seasons, and was mutated into Snake. Chris Bradford, aka Dogpet, aka Runner. Now he's Monster in this photo down here, played with Dogpet before this. He is Shredder's pupil, almost kills Mikey, and was turned into a dog. Twice. He was mutated twice. Zimmer, aka Fishface. He was a thief, and Shredder made him steal for him, and he was turned into a fish. Zick, also now known as Bebop, up here. He's even mutated Zick. Now we have Ivan Stoico, aka Rocksteady. He's mutated into a rhino. Baxter Stockman, also known as Dr. Fly, who is turned into a fly, and he's a science guy. I was planning on making some joke about like building a science guy, but I didn't because I didn't want to. So now we have Tiger Claw. I think he's up here somewhere, but you know, I couldn't fit it in the photo. But you'll see Tiger Claw later, so you know. Anyway, he has a sister named Alopex, and Tiger Claw is super strong. Alopex is a super fast mutated fox. Well, she was human, got turned into a fox. Anyways. The Krang are alien robots from another dimension, called Dimension X. And little brain things share a hive mind. Triceratons. Alien dino species that destroyed Earth and used to fight the Krang for Dimension X. So it's a basic description of the seasons. Season 1 and 2. At least it's mainly the Turtles finding out who their enemies are, making allies, and fighting mutated villains, and Shredder and the Krang. Season 3, the Krang took over New York, so April and Casey and the Turtles go to her old farmhouse, and after the video episode, they take back New York, and near the end of the season, Triceratons destroy Earth. Season 4. They go to space with the Futuroid, a world with a human brain, when Earth is destroyed, and go in time to get a piece of the black hole generator to save the Earth, and they get New York back in the second half of the season. In Season 5, everything goes back to normal. Now, Metalhead's actually kind of a cool character, so I want to mention him in this slide. Metalhead. The episode titled Metalhead, the audience says, how are we supposed to fight advanced alien technology with a stupid stick to create Metalhead, a remote-controlled robot? It has lasers, a megaphone, and it can fight. He eventually gets controlled by Ray, but died built, so he's able to shut down some episodes, but you don't need to read these because I am going to be going through them in a minute. I like this little cool transition, so you get it. Anyways, Season 1, Episode 1, Rise of the Turtles Part 1. In the sewers of New York City, the Turtles are training. Leo wins against Mikey, and Raph wins against Sonny, and then Raph wins against Leo. Splinter appears and tells them they all did well. Leo eats algae worms at their 15th birthday of being mutated into, them. We get told the story about how the Turtle and Splinter came to be together. Splinter agrees to let them go to the surface for the first time, after they begged to. So Splinter gets in the middle and says, you're going to be strange in a hostile world. You must remain immersed at all times. Stay in the shadows. Don't talk to strangers. Anyone is a stranger. Make sure you go before you leave. The Russians up there are filthy. And after they leave, he says, we will be for us in the street. On the surface, they explore and discover pizza, and ends up being their favorite food after this. Zoe sees April and falls in love at first sight, but April and Ed are also getting captured at this point. Zoe must have been, but Lisa says, the instructions are very clear. We're supposed to stay away from people in bathrooms. And Ralph has a conversation with Leo, but Zoe understands that they have to go after him. They fight about able to save April and Ed. They find that the crane people are robots with brain things. When we try to show his brothers, but they don't believe him because the crane disappeared. Now you have crane angry, and this is a little fine line yet. So Ralph says, if anyone doesn't start arguing here, I could save them. He says, if you didn't like I could say, and you play over your own, how's wrong with that? And then he will say, well, we're that great. If someone had even have the nunchucks, and I guess that's what happened if someone just does together in the first place. Where it says they need a leader, and then we get this line. He says, can I be leader? Or why should you be there? I can do it, I should be the leader. Then I'm really all you have to say that it should be me. And Mike says, no, it should be me. I don't like how I say it should be me. This person says, there's no conversation. I'll make on it. 1 second later, it's 0. And then they chase me and find Mugen. Ready Girls Part 2. They get Snake to tell them where they took the scientists. Snake escapes and they keep an eye on the crane base, so they go after him. They sneak in after tricking them with Snake's fan. Snake is mutated. They set off an alarm and head in the direction of where the alarm is headed. Somebody picks the lock to April in her cell. They run to Snake, who is now mutated in 2 weeks. Somebody calls him Snakeweed, and they fight him. Also, Mike is going to be naming all the villains from now on, so just keep that in mind. But after April and Ed are still captured, while the other girls still fight Snakeweed, he catches April as she falls from a helicopter. Snakeweed is defeated. We get a line from Donnie, where Snakeweed is defeated, says, leave toward the fire area. Then it's be stupid, or brilliant, or both. And they read the news and try to find out about them. See my episode 5. I think the name's Dr. Stockman. Underground is around for a week for escape in the lair. That makes a meal clear. This makes calls the teapot. Neo goes skateboarding when they find Baxter Stockman and throw away a dumpster. Baxter finds the teapot after Mikey dropped it. And the Chipmunk upgrades his armor the longer he has it connected to the armor. They are exhausted during the train the next day. They find out Stockman has the teapot, so they sneak out to stop him. They fight him and are defeated easily. Mikey distracts Baxter so they get home. Lunar finds out they snuck out, and they stop him by taking the teapot, and they win. Season 1, Episode 13, New Girl in Town. The girls chase Snakeweed and end up not being able to catch him. Leo argue about leading the team, so Leo leaves, letting Raph lead since Raph thinks he can do better than Leo. While Leo was out alone, the Foot Clan attacked him, and we meet Karai. And she fights him before leaving. This is Karai. I like her character. As Leo comes back to the land, the others are trying to find Snakeweed's lair. Leo to Space Heroes until Splinter he let Ralph in the team because Splinter makes him go and find them. When he goes to find them, he breaks Ryan. The others find Snakeweed and later and free the couple humans, and Snakeweed finds them. Cory tells Leo to meet her at the Riley building at midnight. The others face Snakeweed and make him knocked unconscious, and the others run away. Leo talks to April about it, and she thinks it's right. You're right, she's in the Foot Clan. Sorry, that's a joke. It's a joke in the, it's the lines in the episode, but it's also a joke. So fun. Anyways, we learn about Shredder, we learn Shredder is Christ's father. The Turtles go to find Leo. Leo meets up with Christ by the building, Raph finds them and Snakeweed attacks. And Leo and Raph fight Snakeweed and defeat them, and then later Leo makes Mikey with pizza. So, Baxter's got it. The Krang are taking some spatial okay, I hate when I do this. A subspatial interpartial disruptor. It makes things go beep, pop, and as Donnie puts it, the Turtles are watching this as well while Fishface, Max Stuckman, and Dogpound. Yes, several Dogpound are mutated at this point. Anyway, they run into each other and fight, but the Turtles are free. During training, Leo's the only one who can avoid the sword. He can't see, obviously. Dogpound and Fishface lure the Turtles into Stockman's trap. Splinter is training with April, and we have this line. Sensei, it's not that I don't enjoy running 6,000 times, but we're doing it with it. But April, you already possess the most powerful weapon, the mind. When was the last time you saw someone hit a guy over the head with their mind? True, let's find your weapon. And Stockman traps the Turtles, and we have this line. You will claim for the ultimate prize, your lives, and you family-friendly, currently deadly means of doom. And after this conversation, Spectre also says, and you mean to remain alive? You'll still have to face the monster of doom is a monster of doom, Leo says. And then she's like, no, monster of, oh, the heck with it. They fall through a tunnel, and while fighting, they get surprised by red laser things, and then have to face it. Splinter and April try different weapons. The Turtles, Fishface, and Dogpound almost get killed by spiky balls, and they split up as they walk through another tunnel. April tries another weapon, and Ralph is almost killed, but never saves him, and they go back, and they go below the floor, where they find the others, who are almost killed by rotating lasers. There tells Raph his life story. So, over there on the little floor walking through the tunnel, this is when we get the other novels coming rotating lasers. There tells Raph his life story and how he was employed by Shredder. Raph never find the others, and then finds Stockman's robot. They defeat the lasers. They defeat Max or leave. And Splinter go give April a fan that they intend to pass on to his daughter, aka Karai. Yes, Karai is Splinter's biological daughter, which we find out later. This here is April's fan vote, by the way. Section 21, Karai Vendetta. Shredder finds the Krang after April, so tells Karai to go find her. April and Turtles and Splinter shows you can unbalance your opponent by licking them, apparently. Leo, Raph, and Mikey watch Space Heroes, but then April find out the Krang are starting to change the Earth's water into Krang water, and it will destroy humans. Mikey spills it on April, but doesn't hurt her. April goes to have lunch up on the surface, and Turtles go underwater to stop Krang from changing Earth's water. At lunch, Karai meets April, and teaches how to use the order to get Mr. Murakami's bill place, and April agrees to let her join her for lunch. And she introduces herself as Harmony, and April has never seen Karai before, so she doesn't know what she looks like. She was only mentioned to Leo, by Leo, so, you know. So the Turtles sneak into the Krang underwater lair. Karai says her father isn't teaching him, like mostly, and when April asks for bringing her to New York, and Karai tells April that her meal is turtle soup, and then April realizes that this person is Karai. So April runs and Karai chases her, and then April calls on for help, and the Turtles fight the Krang. Karai chases April on a motorbike. The Turtles plan to blow up the Krang base and escape before it blows up. April and Karai fight. Karai almost beats April, but she gets away by throwing Karai to the subway stairs. Karai tells April it's best if she remains in the sewer if Shredder's after her. Episode 24, Operation Breakout. The Turtles train Raph and wins against Donnie, and Raph tells Donnie he has no shot with April. April gets emailed a secret message, and Donnie decodes it, and it's from Kirby, also April's dad. Donnie decided to save him alone, since the message was asking for help, and Raph said if he wants to impress April, he better leave him out of it. Well, Donnie breaks into the Krang base. The others wake up and notice he's gone. Realizing he followed the message once he decoded it. Raph tells him why he thinks Donnie went alone. During training, April hears something and follows the sound. So he finds her immediately, but opens all the cells laying out the neutralizer, as I called it, by accident. The Turtles decode the message, as well as Emily to find Donnie. They're all playing Krang, but Donnie locks himself and Kirby in a cell, by accident, of course. They're all playing Krang, but Donnie locks himself and Kirby in a cell by accident. Arrow finds the Krang communication device. They get out and meet up with the others and fight the neutralizer. Back later, Kirby and April unite. The Krang tell us about the escape of Kirby was planned. Showdown Part 1. The Krang get a message from Krang Prime, and the Turtles get a message too. Donnie codes Krang language. The Krang are about to invade with the Technodrome, so you gotta stop it and save the world. We get a montage of them getting ready after that line. April asks Splinter why he isn't helping, and he's their teacher. It's his job to prepare them for the challenges they face. April told her dad that the Turtles went to CCRI, and Maggie told Harry says that the Krang and the Turtles are coming for them, and they can't text the Turtles since the Krang cracked the T-Flip encryption, so he needs to warn the Turtle in person. April tells Splinter she can't just sit around and do nothing, as she and Kirby leave. Kirby leads April to getting help from Karai, and April looks her father with brainwash, and Cry is now home to give the message to Splinter. The turtle arrives at TCR with Metalhead, finally trying to distract them while they sneak in. Splinter learns Shredder has April. The turtles destroy the portal, and it didn't work because of force field. Dogpound tells Fishies about the Splinter. Donnie tries to hack into the crank system to shut down the portal force field. Shredder treats Splinter with a hologram of April, and then tells Splinter to give April to the crank. And Donnie shuts down the force field, but they can stop Syndrome from coming through. So Leo decides to rupture the power cell and blow up TCRI. Showdown Part 2. The Syndrome flies over the city. And Shredder fights Splinter, the turtles try to avoid Syndrome's laser and crash land. The turtles go to the lair. They find Splinter and April missing and remove the mind control device from Kirby, so Kirby goes back to normal. The Krang tries to obtain April's psychic abilities. Splinter still fights Shredder. The Krang capture humans. The turtles get into Syndrome where there's no gravity apparently. They hear April scream and fight the Krang on their way to her. Splinter and Shredder still fight. The turtles manage to free April. Shredder and Splinter still fight, and so does Cry, where Splinter learns Cry is his daughter, Mila, and since Splinter can't fight his own daughter, he flees. The Krang almost kills turtles, but April gets with it as they on Syndrome, who sacrifice himself, but since he's the main character, he obviously survives, as they fall into the ocean. And the only time they're freed, the turtles celebrate. Okay, we're only going to see into season 2 since this is going to be longer than normal, and we'll finish the next 3 seasons tomorrow. Let's get to season 2. Season 2, episode 2, Follow Later. The turtles look for lots of mutagens to play, for sure from the last episode, and Cry finds out. The first episode of season 2, in case you're wondering why I'm reading the last episode. The turtles do some training with Leo, and Leo will go to the Dragon's Gate, and the turtles have to fight him to get past him. And you unexpected fighting, like backflips and stuff. And Cry trains the Footbots that almost kill her, before Shredder stops them, obviously. Cry sets a trap for them, and the turtles retreat, but Leo is captured. Cry says this line: "You deserve everything you're getting, Leo. After you betrayed me last time." And what she's talking about is that they attacked her behind Cry's back, but none of what she gave them. She has Leo fight Footbots and the more you fight them, it only improves their skills. The turtle's gonna save Leo, and the Footbots and use pings as multiple cameras, but the trap for Splinter. They run into the Footbots. They run into the Footbots with every attack, every fight fails. They try to be unfixable, but soon the Footbots learn their new fight style, and it becomes normal. And Leo fights Cry. Leo asks Splinter about what Cry said, and Splinter reveals Cry is his daughter. Episode 6, Target April O'Neil. Shredder tells Cry not to see the Krang again, and so he returns, but she goes to see the Krang anyway, almost immediately after that line. Cry wants to try out this new football on April. Donnie told April around, but she tells him to leave her alone. At this point, April has been mutated, so that's why she wants to leave her alone. They figure that the Krang have a new weapon, so they go destroy it. April wants to meet with Casey Jones at the ice rink, Ava says she doesn't want to talk to her friend anymore, and Kate asks her what happened, but says what happened with his friends, and says something that's out of their control. It was nice to her a few minutes ago. The footballs attack them, and Casey and Ava fight them. Everyone's off when Corey spots her. Mickey strikes the crane into the base, but Zoe leaves to help April when she calls him for help. Casey also fights the footbox. Zoe sees April from the crane, and as Corey and the other turtles fight the crane in the base. They fight the new crane robot. Rover goes to fight April. The turtles destroy it by making it go crazy, and then Mickey destroys it. And April comes back to the lair and thanks Donnie. I'm sorry, Good, the Bat, and Casey Jones. With Casey, Rio King ready to drill, he says he will fight the Mutants of New York. The Turtles have a free-for-all battle. Training, and the last Turtle standing wins, and it's Leo. Referees pull off before finding Casey. They fight the Pearl Dragons. When Casey fights the Pearl Dragons, and Raptors to stop him. But ends up with Casey fighting him and tells April about it later. Next day, he follows Raph to the lair while the others were watching TV. He discovers the lair and April meets him there, without knowing he was there. And he says him to Children's Splinter. Remember Casey is scared of rats? The football said follow Casey to the lair. They all fight with Casey wrapped off the football, so escape. They defeated it, and Casey and Raph are now best friends. Episode 15. Basically, it's the Turtles world of Dungeons and Dragons. As I said, in the lair, the Turtles play a Dungeons and Dragons called Amazing Mutants. We see the unidentified character watching them as they watch TV, and Leo says they will do a live-action roleplay, or LARP, of their game. Leo the Knight, that's supposed to be Knight with a K, Zoe the Wizard, Mikey the Elven Thief, and Raph the Dwarf Barbarian. And they dress up as their characters. Leo and someone messed up with his clue. They end up in a dungeon and meet Sir Malachi. They fight bunking goblins that look like Dr. Rockwell and almost fall into lava, and then Sir Malachi turns Raph into the head of a turkey. They run away from the flame roller and find out where April is being kept, and that is a dragon that trapped April. Leo figures out that it's an illusion, and says to win they need to believe the weapons are all powerful, and they fight Sir Malachi. They figure out they have to believe it isn't real to escape, and it works. And they've been in the sewers the whole time, and they go back home. Episode 16 on supposed to be called Roleplay, but it's actually called the Manhattan Project. So Corey actually attacks them, and Leo tries to Splinter, so Splinter is her father. When an earthquake occurs and they leave, we tell the other turtles Corey is his daughter. Roger tells us tries to assassin is a mutant that's mutated by a child by the crane. We meet Tigerclaw for the first time. On a little side note, and different episodes before this on the TV, this episode's supposed to come before it, but there's an episode called about the Tigerclaw which I'll also be going over. But this episode's supposed to come before it. We meet Tigerclaw for the first time, and Corey notices that he has a missing tail, and Tigerclaw is there for his second in command. Everyone can find the crane portal and take it down, and he has Donnie. They go through, but the earthquake happens to hit the portal button and close it. They appear in a place full of other realities, and they see the adventures of 80% of themselves, They fight the Krang and make Mikey, Raph, and Leo are back in New York. Krang and Cyclops fight Leo and Raph and Mikey. Then April and Katie are captured by the Krang. Raph is tied up, and Raph tied up in rope, and Cyclops tells Leo to summon Splinter or the people drop Mikey into the furnace. Leo calls Splinter and the three of them are tied up, and all is pushed into the furnace. And Splinter shows up. Donnie, April, and Casey are taken back to New York, and April says the Krang were going to feed them something called the Cathatragon. I'll be calling it a worm for the rest of this video. They find the worm, and they're causing earthquakes, and they will where the mutant will come from, and Splinter fights Cyclops, and McCoy poisons him. Well, this is technically slide 2, kind of in part 2. Well, there's actually 3 sides of this. Anyway, that's Cyclops. In case you're wondering what he looks like. You try to get him, Corey Splinter as your father, and he almost kills him. Cyclops stops her and says Trevor wants to keep him alive, so he frees them himself. Splinter frees them and tells them to run. The turtles escape while Corey and Cyclops take Splinter. So April and Katie try to escape, warned by Casey while April and Donnie get away. Raph and Mikey and Leo get ready to save Splinter at Shredder's lair. Then April goes to see Mr. Grisman. He had everything on Krang, and also early April with an insurance on. He calls this thing the Manhattan Project. Splinter wakes up but is only weakened by the poison. When Shredder tries to kill him, Krang tells him to let Splinter fight while he is weakened and chained. But Cyclops backs up, so Shredder agrees. We learn that the worms we saw earlier are only children, and the Krang sick to read out of these worms, kind of like milking a cow. That's where the music comes from. And the Krang ride them, apparently. And Katie calls April from inside the worm. Leo thinks it's a way to save Splinter, but is almost immediately captured by Cyclops. Shredder's waiting at the other when the other two show up. And the same with Leo and Splinter, Donnie and April save Casey. Fry and the mutant henchmen go after the turtles. And Splinter, Casey, and April go to a distance to distract the Krang. Splinter helps fight. Donnie tries to deactivate the portal. Cyclops swallowed by the worm. They save the city. And the Krang worm appeared in the 80s version of TMNT. We have the Wrath of Tiger Claw. Fred looks in the phone for Mom and remembers what Leo said to her in the episode and asks her for the truth. Tiger Claw asks how he escaped from the worm, and Christ will go to Tiger Claw to retrieve and the turtle. They eat these pizza pop looking things. The turtles go back to Mr. McCromy and get Mikey leftovers, but Tiger Claw attacked him, and he says he told Fry everything and knew about April and Casey. Fry followed April when she came to talk. Tiger Claw attacks Casey elsewhere. Fry told April that she was recently split with her enemy, and Shredder was trying to use her to set a trap for the turtle, but she can't. He called Raph, and so he and Mikey can find him. Even though he find April, Fry cries to she released her as her father. We find out the trick a little bit. Christ and Cyclops are on location when they get back to the lair. They bring her back while Casey and Rabbit Mikey are already back there. So since we're looking at Terryclaw, she goes with Splinter and which was her photo him with her mother, which is the photo when Splinter was still human. But Splinter's and tried the same photo, but Splinter's sight is ripped off. Now he believes that if for real, and Karai says that Terryclaw is tracking her, so they lead Terryclaw away, and Splinter tells Karai, "You are who you choose to be, not what others make you." And through they go through the series and meet the old meat factory and fight Terryclaw. Karai joins in fighting Terryclaw. He knocks her out and threatens to kill her and takes her back to Shredder. The turtles take Mikey back to the lair. Terryclaw tells Shredder to fight alongside, tells Shredder Karai fought alongside the turtles. Shredder finally tells Karai Splinter is her true father, knowing Karai found out, and she's locked in the Okay, only a few more slides. Pizza Face. Aaron goes to meet the turtle after grabbing an unusual pizza for free. Turtles watch the eagle making calls pizza place, but then picked up. Lucy has make his own, so he does, and we watch. He reads the oil like hot sauce and makes a commercial for Antonio, so we order from there. Levi says the pizza is free, and Mikey fights Mutated Pizza. And when Mikey tries to tell him, they don't believe him. Mikey notices something wrong, and the people in New York are attacked by a pizza minion, and the guards escape. When he gets back, everyone and Splinter eat the pizza, and Mikey fights them, and the Mutated Pizza while the others leave. Mikey questions the pizza and tells them how it's going to mutate into a pizza monster. He puts the pizza in a freezer and watches the pizza face turn April into a calzone. He watches the turtle eat it. He makes the turtles into pizza guards, and Mikey fights them. Louis traps Mikey and almost eats April, but Mikey eats his way out. And after saying there's only one way out, and then eat my way out. He gets eaten by Pizza Face and eats his way out of him, defeating him and make it back in the lair. And everyone says it was a dream. But everyone thinks it was Mikey's room. Essence with the opinion is mine. Ryan works on breaking into the dungeon from around the Terryclaw, and that's when Fishface comes in to give her food, but she breaks out and leaves. As she leaves, Terryclaw captures her and locks her up again. Terryclaw goes to save Karai, and they are successful. Instantly runs to Terryclaw, Fly takes them with a dog whistle. The foot surrounds them, and Dory saves them again. As they leave the foot, Terryclaw and Fishface follow them. When Terryclaw can them since he can fly, Karai and almost dies, and Terryclaw is defeated back in the lair. Splinter and Karai hug before watching Turtles train. Splinter tells Karai the true story after the elegant red Karai stakes out. He tries to go with her, but she stops him, and Leo ends up telling the others where Karai went. Karai fights Shredder, and he wins. He locks Karai in a cage above a mutagen, infected with serpent venom or DNA, and the plan is to mutate the turtles when they try to save her. They fight while Leo tries to cry. She pulls the mutant, and they all leave. And then we see Cry back in her human form. And we're not sure if we can change the server or not. Because from human form, because in the next episode, it's like she's back in her human form. Here's her human form, and here's what she looks like in the episode. So I'm not sure if she can change forms or not. These players are very because Thermal Places are really rely on later episodes. The Maiden. Sure thinks about Cry and talks to the Krang. April and Irma walk together and they get attacked by Flip-Flop. And Alpha and see Raph and Casey are looking for Cry. And they also talking about about the Krang Maiden. Actually, we're just gonna stop here. We'll finish season 2 next time. But this video is already almost an hour long. So, see you next time. Bye.